Hello and welcome to the show. We are back on Forza Horizon 4 with another vehicle taking on the hill climb stage. And this is going to be the last of the, I guess you could say, regular episodes building cars for this hill climb stage. I have a couple of more experimental ideas that I'm kind of curious to see how they will go. But this Subaru BRZ is going to be the last of the regular kind of build a car and run it up the hill episodes. The BRZ is an interesting prospect, though. It is likely to be a pretty damn good car for tackling the hill climb stage. It is small, it is relatively light, and thanks to the wide body kit it can have, will get massive tyres, and that is generally pretty good for going up our stage, because at the end of the day the hill climb route that we have is all about the grip, and in Forza bigger tyres are better, basically. So yes, we will have the good old Liberty Bunny body kit on the car, so it will get, I think, 305s at the back, which is nice. Now, we're not allowed to swap the engines. I don't actually know if I would. Do we have a turbo rally? I mean, I know that is a very good engine, but I don't think I get race tyres on it. Not that we're allowed to swap the engine regardless. We're not going to need, unless it can't get to the top of A-Class, which, let's face it, this will, with its standard tyres, with its standard engine, sorry, with the race tyres put on, the massive race tyres of that. 275s at the front are very good, and 305s at the back are also very nice indeed. So, massive tyres all around. Now, we will be getting a, well, I'd be tempted to have that wing just for the wacky looks. We want the wing that actually gives us a good amount of downforce, or as much downforce as possible, basically. I guess we could, that makes actually no bloody difference to the car, not going to bother with it. We can't have a front splitter, however, the tyre size increase from the wide body kit is far better than any advantage you'd get with having a front splitter. So yeah, we will. It's a sacrifice you have to make. I think it does have some downforce at the front, certainly, from the body kit one, but it's not as good as a Forza Aero one. However, the better option is to have the big tyres. We will want roll cage and we will want full weight reduction. It takes out to £2,400, which is pretty good as it just starts going into A-Class. Power, of course, will be the downside. This car will not have very much. Does the gearbox drop us some PI? Yes, it does. I don't know why, but I'll take it. And then we've got to try and get as much power in the car as we possibly can. And I'm hoping for, I mean, if we could get like 350, that'd be great. We're not going to, but it would be nice to be able to get about that sort of figures out of it. By the looks of it, we're going to struggle to get to 300. So it's going to be a chuck on bits and pieces. See if we can start getting that up. Yeah, it's going to be just shy of, just a smidge shy of the 300 horsepower mark. Yeah, it won't quite make that, which is, as I say, is a shame. 297 horsepower, still not too bad. It's relatively light, so it has got that going for it. We can get a stage of flywheel in. Can I get anything like drive? Ooh, we can get a stage of that. Why not? Maybe a clutch as well. That's probably pushing it. Yep, just pushing it a little bit too much. 297 horsepower. Yeah, that's good. Good power to weight ratio. Big tyres. It should have a lot of traction. Ultimately, it's not quite the same sort of power to weight ratio we saw from the 340R, but I mean, fingers crossed. A top 10 is, I think, definitely achievable with this car. Much more than that, might be pushing it, but we'll have to wait and see. So, here we are at the bottom of the hill climb stage with the Subaru, where I shall be having 3 attempts to try and go as fast as possible. I will say, on my drive over to the start line, I have a horrible feeling this car might be struggling for, I say, kind of acceleration. Once it gets to sort of 80, 90 miles an hour, it doesn't feel massively fast. However, sometimes, and certainly in this kind of a course, sometimes vehicles that don't feel particularly fast actually do end up being quite fast. And at the end of the day, handling is the most important thing on this stage. So if the car has enough grip to work, it might not matter. That being said, it doesn't quite have as much grip as I was hoping through turn 1. If anything, there's quite a lot more understeer from this than I was expecting there to be. Now, I can deal with that. For a car, though, with, well, this size tyres, this little weight, and so on, I am surprised that it doesn't quite have as much grip as I was expecting. There's even the faintest bits of oversteer as well as I'm getting on the power here. That's not at all what I was expecting. Can I be flat through here? Not a hope in hell can I be flat through there. That's very understeery. Curious. I mean, the Porsche was much... we've run 2 Porsches up here. The Porsche that ran last episode, much better turning than this car is getting, that's for sure. And this hasn't even got the lovely planted back end that the Porsche had as well. So this might not be the best of... I said it might be the best of cars. We'll have to wait and see, of course. Trying to guesswork how fast a car is sometimes by feel doesn't always work. Going out towards the penultimate corner now. I mean, the splits are okay. It's going to be decently fast, but I don't think it's actually going to threaten the top 10. Certainly on this first run. Now, I might be able to get more out of it next time. We're going to have a little bit of a slip and a slide around the final quarter. It's across the line. Actually, it's a little bit better than I feared it might end up being. Into the 26s there for the car. What is it? 26.6. So, yeah, I mean, we're in the top 25 at the moment. However, I was expecting more grip. I was expecting more grip from the BRZ. Well, I've got 2 more attempts to try and find a bit more speed. Right, it is time for the second run with the BRZ. I have got, well, about a second... Would be nice to be able to find a second, would put it up towards the top 10. I don't know whether I can quite get that much time out of the vehicle. It's not quite as I was hoping to drive up here, not quite as I was expecting from the car when it comes to this course. However, we might be able to, like that for example. So I'll take a slightly different line through the first corner. Try to hope that I can carry more speed. That first corner is almost flat out normally with the very high grip cars. This, I tried it and the back end let go. Really surprised with the size tyres we've got going on with this. I'm really surprised that is what we are seeing from the car. We are seeing the back end moving around as much. And yeah, to go with it, the front just doesn't have the grip either, which is unusual. It is unusual. I think we're better through here this time around. Now up the hill, this is where the lack of power does show a little bit. We've seen cars up towards 94, 95 mile an hour mark. We're a smidge down on them, in fact even just over the crest as well. It's just not got the ultimate grip to really challenge the very fastest of cars. It's good, however, not as good as I and perhaps those that suggested it, recommended it, were expecting it to be. Certainly, stats-wise, you would think it would be good. But yeah, handling, little wobbly. It's actually a worse time, I think, this one. This one here is not going according to plan for the BRZ. One more corner to go. Around here, try and get on the power. Oh, no, don't get on the power too early because it just wants to smoke the rear tyres. And there we go. It is across the line. Not a particularly good time for the car. That one, that's in the 27s. Yeah, 27.5. Pretty forgetful run. Well, no pressure on the last one then. Well, this is the final attempt for the BRZ. Its last run up the hill climb stage to try and get, well, any more speed out of the vehicle. I'm not actually quite sure where I'm going to find much more speed with this car. It seems that the more you kind of push it, the more likely it is to start sliding around, and that loses you a crap ton of time. So we're going to have to just try and not make any mistakes with the car in the slightest, not get the rear moving around. That's about all I can do. Unfortunately, we don't really have the power to go. We don't have the power or the acceleration to really go for all the like apexes and just focus on the straight line speed, because I don't have enough of it for that to ever work. I've got to try and make up. My speed is going to be made up in the corners, which is fair enough if you've got the grip to do it, but I'm not sure this car really does. Whenever pushed really hard, we end up sliding or understeering. I can't even contemplate being flat through here. It's a long way away. Again, it's a nice line through there, and we get plenty of speed on the exit, which is something at least. Up towards, now we'll brake a little earlier because it really struggles to get turned in. It's neater and tidier through there at least. That's something. Now we will be flat through here. It's not as comfortable flat as a lot of cars, however we will make it flat through there. It got weird on the dirt perhaps, or the crest, something upset it there. Got away without losing too much time, although it's a little wide on the exit as well. 2 more corners to go for the BRZ. Are we having a good run? I think it's okay, but again, I don't think it's actually going to be any faster than the first run, certainly if we get these final corners perfect. It's just not got the grip from either end of the car, sadly, as we run towards the finish line. Nope, first run was still better. It's not... Sadly, surprisingly, that's not at all how I expected or had hoped the car would drive. It's just not got any grip. Well, I say not got any grip. It's just not got the grip to get up this course as fast as some other vehicles. It's still actually pretty decent in terms of time, but we're not quite competing with the top 10 that I might have hoped that that it could have done. The likes of the 911 Turbo and the 911 Carrera RS, they were in the mid 25s, and in fact low 25s, I should say. Sorry, and this is quite a long way off of that. It's time up the course. Well, it's going to go into a 24th position. Oh no, maybe a 23rd position, actually. It will beat the Golf, the Atomic Punk, the Warthog. It's around the Bone Shaker in terms of speed. We'll lose out to the Mercury Coupe, Lamborghini Miura, Civic RS, even the front-wheel drive Civic is faster up here. Slower than the Mazda MX-5. I guess a good car. Do not get me wrong. It is a good car to drive up there. It's a fun enough vehicle. It doesn't have any really wonky handling characteristics. It just doesn't have the grip. There is simply not enough grip in this car to get up the course, and there's nowhere near enough power to try and rectify that with blinding acceleration. Some cars kind of get away a little bit if they have a lack of grip with some sheer speed, but this does not have that. And on a course like that, where even the sheer power cars are, can't really excel because it is so twisty. When you're lacking grip, you are going to be in trouble. So there we go. The BRZ, little bit of a disappointment in some ways. That though is going to be it for this episode. As I said, we are going to be moving on to something a little bit different for a couple of weeks. I've got some experiments, some ideas that I kind of fancy trying up this hill climb stage to see how they go, see if anything can get close to the 340R. That thing has been mighty good. The only thing that's got close so far has been a Quartz Regalia, and that seems a little iffy to me. But yeah, we're going to have some sort of experiments and see what happens running up the hill climb stage. BRZ, just not quite good enough. That'll be it for today, though. Until next time, a goodbye.